Number 2.
She Will Be Mine by Burleigh Smith. Lee Jackson Swing the Tent is the song playing. Fade in, exterior, Perth City streets, night. Unexpectedly romantic, a lot can be hidden in the dark.
A friend once asked me, how do you know when you're in love? The idea of me giving any kind of romantic advice is comical, to say the least. And for the first 20 minutes of the conversation, I thought he was just mocking me.
Interior, Swiss restaurant, night. John Citizen, 33 and bland. Were it not for his prominent spectacles, we probably wouldn't even notice him. He sits at a table, entranced.
I can't remember what I said at the time. Improvised something supportive about the importance of reliability and companionship in the bigger picture. That's what I've been telling myself for years as I've labored through various relationships.
Beatrice, a stunning blonde, sits opposite John and tells an engaging story.
And then I met her.
John nods and smiles. Understandably, he's very agreeable.
I sat and listened to all her childhood stories about her mother and her uncles and her aunts and her grandparents, and not once did I have to feign interest.
John continues to nod and smile, a plastic dipping bird. Moments later, John is now talking with Beatrice, laughing.
And she had such a genuine interest in my stories too. She was so warm, attentive, so cheerful.
Interior, cozy restaurant, a past night. A homely little diner with fabric curtains and checkered tablecloths. John sits with Glinda, a beast of a woman.
Sure, I've dated warm, attentive, cheerful women before, only they weren't usually as, aesthetically pleasing.
Glinda eyes John seductively. John focuses on his meal. Exterior, waterfront street, night. As John and Beatrice kiss, perfectly timed fireworks explode above them.
When you entertain a woman like this, you must be one hell of a guy, or in my case, very lucky.
Several men nearby look on and express their disbelief at John's success. There's no justice in the dating world.
So how do you know when you're in love? When you're not even contemplating the question.
Title 1 month later. Interior, Beatrice's bedroom, night. Beatrice lies on her side, facing away, quietly sobbing. John sits beside her, concerned.
Taking the garbage out,
What?
so we won't miss a collection like last week.
Are you trying to be funny?
Well, I can't think of another reason why you'd be upset.
It's not out of courage.
Then tell me what it is about.
Doesn't matter, don't worry.
How can I not worry? We go out, have a nice evening, and then you come home and cry 3 nights in a row.
There's nothing you can do.
Not if you won't tell me.
Just go to sleep. We're going home. Please, John. One or the other. Exterior, office building, day. One of Perth's few skyscrapers.
If she wasn't going to reveal the cause of her heartache, I'd have to pry it from her with a horse trade.
Interior, office, day. John leans over Avery's desk. Avery was out sick that day.
Good.
I know I've said before I wanted to smack you in the head, but that was to motivate you. I didn't mean it.
I'll cover Friday drinks if you'll help me out.
I don't understand how this is going to help you. Are you trying to get me fired?
Linda, the beastly date, passes with some files.
What are you talking about? John wants someone to hit him in the face.
Linda drops the files and smashes John in the cheek without hesitation. Interior, Swiss restaurant, night. Beatrice, sitting opposite John, is alarmed.
Everyone is looking at us.
Indeed, John's face is bruised and swollen. He holds an ice pack to his injury.
I don't think it's that noticeable.
Are you in some kind of trouble?
Doesn't matter. Don't worry.
Of course I worry.
There's nothing you can do.
His face betrays the slightest smile of satisfaction. Beatrice makes the connection. She doesn't look happy. Exterior, dark street, night. John and Beatrice walk, John still with the ice pack on his cheek. Every few steps, he looks over his shoulder.
You know you're not the only one with problems.
You don't say.
Interior, Beatrice's living room, night. John and Beatrice on the couch.
Your father reminded me a lot of him. It's part of the whole attraction.
That's unsettling.
He was never in my life. He didn't want it. I can't tell you how rejected that made me feel.
She starts to get upset. John is instantly relieved.
Oh, so that's it.
Her look warns him not to make light of the matter.
That's it.
I met him once when I turned 18. He told me he wanted me to. He told me if I ever wished to contact him again, I could do so through visit to Birmingham. When Mom died last year, I moved the farthest possible distance from New York.
A brief moment passes.
What is it you want?
I just want him to acknowledge me. That's it. Just admit that I'm his daughter, even though he's a loathsome, pathetic weasel.
And I remind you of him?
Beatrice shakes her head, though not entirely convincingly.
I've just had such a hard time trusting him after the way he's treated my mother. He lied to her, didn't even tell her he was married. Such a manipulative sneak.
John reaches out and rubs her arm affectionately.
Well, not all men are like him.
Anyway, the world's full of problems. Tell me why your face is bruised.
Interior Beatrice's hallway, night. Beatrice storms out of the living room, John in pursuit.
So you lied to me.
I wouldn't call it lying.
You manipulated me.
How else can I discover your secret? I did it because I care.
She stops at the front door.
It's best you don't stay over tonight. I have to get up early in the morning.
You have to get up early every morning.
I need some time to think. I'm really sorry. I don't know what I want, but this just isn't working.
Of course, you know where this is going.
In exterior Beatrice's house, night. John on the doorstep, his toothbrush and pajamas in one hand, the ice pack held against his cheek with the other. Beatrice shuts the door abruptly in his face. He stands quietly in the darkness and evaluates the situation.
It was over. Just like that. Of course, we could still be friends and catch up for dinner every once in a while. Well, fuck that. I wasn't going to be beaten up by one girl and dumped by another in the space of a day.
Interior dark day. John sits with the lender and signs a contract.
I'd led such an undistinguished life. I was too bland. Of course, it didn't help that my name was John Citizen. But this was my chance to take action, to define myself. It was my chance to do something drastic. To get another bank loan and sink further into debt in a desperate, poorly planned attempt to redeem myself in her eyes.
Exterior Perth International Airport day. Grass grows on the runway. A single plane takes off.
She would be mine, at any cost. That sounded creepier than intended.
Title 30 hours later. Exterior JFK International Airport day. Scores of planes land, many more circle as they wait.
It didn't help that I was detained at customs for 5 hours while they questioned the name on my passport.
Exterior Manhattan streets day. Genuinely romantic, like in the movies.
I only knew 2 things about her father. One, he was in the restaurant business.
Exterior Spatchcock's restaurant day. So says a large sign out the front. John enters.
2, he had a distinct name. Ebenezer Spatchcock. Bet he was never detained by airport security.
Interior Spatchcock's restaurant day. John at a table. He looks about to ensure no one is watching, then pulls out a small container. He opens it and deposits a family of cockroaches into his salad.
There are bugs in my food!
The waiters rush to silence him, but John gets louder.
I demand to speak with the manager.
Interior Spatchcock's back office day. John sits with Eugene Spatchcock, 72, and stern.
We have the highest standards of cleanliness here. Don't accept what you're saying.
You have trouble accepting a lot of things, don't you? An unclean restaurant, an adult daughter.
What of my daughter?
I'm in love with her. That's why.
Eugene suddenly breaks into a broad smile. He stands and extends his hand.
I didn't know. This is wonderful news. Perhaps now she'll move out of the house. Ethel's almost 40.
Ethel? No, I don't love her.
Eugene, now confused too, hand still extended.
You're Ebenezer Spatchcock.
Eugene Spatchcock.
No relation to Ebenezer.
I don't know anyone named Ebenezer.
Oh, all right, I'm sorry. I'm gonna need those cockroaches back.
Exterior Manhattan streets day. John speaks with a friendly-looking transvestite who gives directions.
Well, that went very well for a rehearsal. Trouble was there was no other restaurants of that name listed. And there was a good reason for that too, as I found out.
Exterior graffiti-covered alley day. John steps over piles of garbage and several sleeping homeless men. At the end of the alley, he reaches a flight of stairs that lead beneath street level.
The closer I got to the place, the more convinced I became there would already be cockroaches in the food.
Interior, unlisted Spatchcock's restaurant day. A dark, foreboding hole. Loud, foreign music. The other patrons are middle-aged men in trench coats. John sits and waits. a knife and fork in his hands, a napkin tucked down the front of his shirt, and no table in front of him. He looks like a Looney Tunes character. The others start to cheer as naked women lying on trolleys and covered in sushi are wheeled out. In front of John lies Alexandria, a curvy European brunette who greets him with a smile. John has no idea what to do. She notices his cutlery.
I would prefer you use chopsticks.
That guy's used before.
He points, and as Alexandria turns, he takes the opportunity to unleash the bugs on her. She screams.
I demand to speak with the manager.
Interior dingy office day. Ebenezer Spatchcock, 76, bespectacled and with a sour look, folds pamphlets from a large box. There are more boxes about the office. He's got a lot of work ahead. John stands in the doorway.
Come in, take a seat. I don't have long. Printers are screwed up, and I have 500 pamphlets to fold for a letterbox drop in Queens.
He digs through a desk drawer and pulls out a tattered piece of cardboard that he tosses at John.
Management would like to apologize for your trouble and offer this 2-for-1 coupon.
I'm expecting a little more than that.
Spatchcock snatches back the coupon and tosses another.
Okay, free entry before 5 p.m., but only on weekdays.
That's your compensation?
Where are you from?
Australia.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The place is like a morgue. Nothing to do. It's dead there.
Your daughter finds it quite pleasant.
This meeting has nothing to do with what may or may not have been in your food, does it?
John shakes his head.
So what do you want?
I want you to acknowledge her. I flew all the way to New York on borrowed money. I want you to let her know she at least means something to you, even if she doesn't.
So believe me, I have no plans to visit the morgue anytime soon. What's to you?
Everything.
Spatchcock can't hide his amusement at the foolish lover.
Let me tell you something about life. You don't often get what you want, and when you do, it doesn't usually make you happy. That girl's mother pursued me relentlessly. She even had a friend deliberately bruise up the side of her face, so I pity her.
John, uneasy at this bizarre parallel.
I didn't want a future with her, and I was honest from the beginning. That was before she started tampering with my prophylactics. She just couldn't take no for an answer, and there's nothing worse than someone who doesn't know when to quit.
For a long moment, John is silent.
This isn't about the money. It's about your daughter and me trying to fill your absence, regardless of who was involved.
Spatchcock weighs up the situation. It seems John's word had had some impact.
Okay, here's what I'll do.
Or not, he tosses a third coupon.
Free entry after 5 p.m., 7 days a week. That's the best you're gonna get from me, final offer.
Interior cheap hostel day. John packs his bags. He is gloomy. A young couple appear to be dry humping on the adjacent bunk bed.
30 hours in transit gives you a lot of time to think.
Exterior Perth International Airport night. John's plane lands.
I'd blown thousands of dollars I'd be repaying for years to come, and I had nothing to show for it. Nothing to offer comfort to Beatrice, no one to meet me at the airport.
Exterior high rooftop day. John has a bird's eye view of the people passing in the street. They're tiny.
Look at them, going about their tiny, insignificant lives, and I'm no different. It was time to put all the cards on the table, to tell her how I felt, to be honest. I had no other angle left.
Interior Beatrice's hallway day. Beatrice answers the door. It's John. She hugs him.
You're soaking wet, and it's not raining outside.
The fire hydrant down the street burst open when I was passing.
Get your towel.
No, it doesn't matter. I just want to say
You don't have to say anything. I'm the one that should be doing the talking. The thing with my father is it's finished as far as I'm concerned. I'm sorry, and it was unfair, but there's only one thing I ask of you, and that is to always be honest with me. That, and never have anything to do with him. The thought of you two ever meeting is just more than I can bear.
John between a rock and a hard place once again.
You promise?
yes, I promise. I will always be honest.
She holds his hands in hers. They move in for a much-deserved kiss, but a knock at the door interrupts them. Interior Beatrice's doorstep day. John opens the door. Ebenezer Spatchcock stands waiting.
John, we meet again.
He passes him his luggage. John and Beatrice are stunned. Spatchcock studies their grave expressions.
And you tell me this place doesn't remind you of more.
That's black.